Hey, how's it going guys? So in the last devlog, I was excited to show my game's progress, and think it was ready to publish. I said I'd be able to release it after that video. I was wrong.
You fucked up.
So here's what I've been working on these past few days to finally get it published. So one of the first main things I'd realised after the last video was that the upgrades didn't even reset at all. So this was completely breaking the game loop. I'd completely overlooked this. So to fix this, what I had to do is I had to create a new function which would reset all the upgrades every time you prestige, which would change the crop and things like that, and reset everything back to level 1 and the default variables. Luckily this didn't take too long to implement, as I already had the base values already stored in dictionaries, so I could just reference those, so I didn't have to create any new variables or things like that. So another issue I ran into was the shop wasn't updating or deleting the locks when you actually unlocked them. So I spent ages that night trying to fix this. I was up until like 2 AM. And then the next morning I realised I was just checking the wrong thing. I was comparing borders and not the skins. And so I was getting stressed for no reason. I was just looking at the wrong thing and tired. So to fix this, I just made it so that the lock had a new variable which corresponded to the skin or border's actual name in the dictionary. So I could loop through each one of these locks. If the skin key equal to 1, which is unlocked, I would destroy it, because I made it so that 1 equals unlocked and 0 equals unlocked in the dictionary. So that was a nice easy fix once I figured out that I was looking at the wrong thing. So another nice little polish feature I added after working on that was I added a check mark to the selected skins. So every time you selected that skin, it would just pop up a nice check mark sprite, and it would move around to each different one. So it's just adding more polish. And on top of that, I added some animations as well for each button. So for every single one, it would just shift down a little so it looks like you tapped it. Now that was more time consuming than you'd think. Like every single one, I had to shift it down. So like there's like 100 of these things, and I'm just going in each animation, new frame, and just drop it down by 5 pixels. But yeah, it works. And so in the last video, I mentioned I was adding some additional skins and borders, which were going to align and unlock with your prestiges. And so I've actually done this now, and on screen I'll show this. So basically, every time you upgrade your farm and you unlock a new crop, it's going to unlock new skins and borders which correspond to that level. And so we've now got a nice natural sense of progression, which is going to keep getting more interesting. So we're going to go from copper to iron and gold, things like that. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It adds a nice sense of progression now, and I'm going to be sure to actually improve this even more in the future. I might change these down the line, but I'm definitely also going to be adding more. So another thing I've had to add is the pause menu. I realised I had forgotten to actually even set this up. I just had, if I can find a picture on screen right now, it's literally just some sprites. I just had some yellow sprites. So I had a friend test this, and he actually helped me realise this. So yeah, that actually works now, and as you can see, we now have some buttons that work. So yeah, that's the pause menu. Not that interesting, but had to be done. So once again, thinking this game was good to go, I had a friend test it, and once again, he found a problem. So this time we had power-up bug fixes. The magnet pickup and the time stew pickup were not disappearing when the time ran out. So for example, the magnet particles were also not disappearing, things like that. So even though there'd be nothing actually working, the particles would still be going. So just little minor bugs like that. But that really was annoying, so I managed to get that fixed. I had to add some new functions and things like that to make it so that when the time is set to 0, it would set the particle to invisible. And one oversight that I actually got this fixed was I had to set the rate to 0. So I thought this was already working. I'd set the particles to invisible and not spraying. But apparently I just had to set the rate to 0, and that fixed it. So sometimes such a minor fix can make such a big difference. Like this was such a simple fix, but finding that issue can be the problem. You spend half your time trying to figure out the actual issue in the first place. So once again, we're finally back to publishing. And I can now say I've actually published this game last night. I was actually up until 5 in the morning getting this ready. So now in the next few days, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing more minor tweaks, but also I'm going to be working on all the branding and the logos, things like that. So I'm going to try record that process and get some more videos out also. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.